When do I think of it as a punishment is when I have done something wrong where my conscience, that is, inner self is telling me that something, which is why, you know.
You kindly go back to your own life, so that it doesn't become an intellectual exercise. We are trying to draw some lessons from the life so far lived. Wherever we have labeled it as punishment, how did we react? How later on we recognized, realized?
What he said is valid. See, suppose in my mind, I feel I have wronged the person. So then I feel, oh, Papa's punishing me for having done this.
You're talking about punishment. God never punishes.
It's a conscience.
All these are right, but something more is there, Because when we say never punishes, we think that he is an entity, He helps me, he is compassionate, okay, everything is okay at that level. But really, he is unruffled, unaffected. As he said, the law of karma is taking place, and in its course, something happens which we call it as good or bad, that's all. He remains untouched, unaffected. The law of karma, the wheel of karma, goes on because he remains untouched, unruffled. Just as a deity in a temple sits there, You pour water, you say Abhishekam. It will not say nothing. You pour curd, you pour this, then you wash. You put new clothes, then you take it away. You give food items, offerings. You take it away. It remains untouched, unaffected, unruffled. But it is there. So that means, he gives you an opportunity to bring it out, and he sits there So that means when Papa says great void, when he introduces God as great void, the great void is, it is not affected by anything, in which so many things happen. So I think the more we think about that law of karma approach, it might become more and more clear to us. Here what happened was, one person started using bad language to Papa. And then he went out. The next day he came back and he was having throat problem. He was not able to speak. So he said, because I have used this, probably God has punished me. And suddenly he took Papa's hand and did like this. And it got opened up. See, you don't know your power. This is the power, God. Then Papa says, God never punishes. It is your own faith that has cured you. A very touching episode, and we have to be very, very deeply contemplative, then only we will be able to understand that. Maharaj, that person who abused, next day he comes. He claimed, falling at the feet of Ramdas, God has punished your save for having used rough words yesterday. See how my throat is choked. I can't speak out properly. Oh friend, Papa answers, Ramdas is really sorry to hear this. But be assured of this, God never punishes. God is love and always kind. Our own doubts are our enemies and create a lot of mischief. The so-called evil is in our own making. At once pulling out Papa's right hand, the friend rubbed the palm on his throat. And strange to say, his throat cleared and he began to talk more clearly. And in a few minutes, he was perfectly all right. Behold, Maharaj, how powerful you are. Papa says, you make a mistake, dear friend, replied Ramdas. Ramdas is a poor slave of Ram, possessing no powers at all. Your faith alone has cured you, nothing else. From this time onward, the friend became very much attached to him and was very kind. So he never punishes. Both are allowed in his, because as somebody said, when you say Dayalu, Kripalu, it is not that because he has allowed us to come, that itself is that shows. Probably we may be able to understand it a little more. Whatever we have said is all right, 100% right. Different facets. We not come by the present me and mine in us has not done anything to take this birth. We plan to come to ashram. We go tomorrow, we book our ticket. That me and mine, that planner in me, did not do anything for my birth. The planner in me has not done anything for my body. The planner in me has not brought about basic thing that enables me to exist as an individual. The Buddhas, sun, everything. There also I have not done anything. That which makes me comfortable, all those things also I have not done anything. But I am living, That means he has arranged everything and then makes me to live. So suppose we start taking it, Dayalu. That is how we say he is Dayalu, Kripalu. Even when we did not appreciate him, even when we did not recognize him, even when there are times when we questioned his very existence, even when we insulted him or denied him, he has not left us. So such a person, how can he punish? If he is a person, suppose he is a person who has done all this, will he punish? No.
But he makes us feel the pairs of opposites.
Makes us feel the pairs of opposites.
He makes us feel, no doubt. Because the sense of individuality is that it will happen. It will happen. But this particular word, this particular contemplation will make us to know how gracious he has been to me and to all other creations. So certain things he makes it happen. Suppose I put my hand in the boiling water. What will happen? I get burnt, no? That is the law of karma. Why did God punish me by this burning? No. Law of karma is also he is making okay, but law of karma should be there for an institution to exist. There should be some norms, 8 to 5, there will be a working time, no? People who come there do this, do that. There are do's and don'ts. Otherwise, this institution will collapse. So anywhere there, the code of conduct is necessary. And when suppose as an employee, if I don't measure up to those, I have to face disciplinary action. God is not responsible. In order that the establishment runs, the dharma has been prescribed. And when we violate it, we get violated. When we violate. So our spiritual journey should enable us to accept this. Then we will not blame anybody. But there are certain things will happen about which our mind will not be able to decipher a lot. For no fault of yours, suppose you are punished. It may be difficult for you to accept it. So this we have to keep on thinking about it during our past moments like this, so that we might get some cushioning when God makes us to pass through that experiences. Normal course, yes, all those things, yes, it has got relevance. And think about that great void. Everything is allowed to happen, but he doesn't have any hatred towards anybody, nor he is attached to anybody. Everybody is equal to him.
Swamiji,
Ah.
if if somebody gets punishment for no fault of his, then law of karma plays, huh?
Think about it, no? Think about it.
Law.
In order to ensure that this does not become an intellectual exercise, we have to go back to our own life. Our own life. God has blessed us with all these experiences to all of us. We would have never thought in our dream also, but somebody says something, then we get offended. We become upset. And then at that time, what happened? Instead of impulsively reacting, suppose we withdraw, there must be some reason for him to say like that. Then at the same time, the mind refuses to accept it. So better way, geographically, you be away for some time. Let the mind settle down. Go back. Either that person will come and say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean. There was a slip of the tongue. I misunderstood. By that time, you have got that cushioning. Like that, there might have been so many incidents in your life.
Or we can take it as Leela, Krishna Leela.
Or we take it as Leela.
That is why Papa says, the observation and experience offer us immense possibilities for self-improvement. Please go over this. No answer is the final answer. And we don't want this intellectual exercise. We try to go back, see how he placed us in different circumstances, how we made us to feel offended, how he made us to feel applauded, and what was our reaction. Bhagavad Gita, when we did in-depth study, how many times he has mentioned that. Yesterday we were talking about the Sama Dukkha Sukha Kshami. In second chapter, he lists out who is the man of steady wisdom. Sukhe, Dukkeshu Anidvigramana, Sukheshu Vikataspraha, Vitaraga Bayakroda. So in both, maintains. That means, he doesn't feel that he is offended or he got offended. He just discharges as prompted by him. That stage. So when at that Gandhiji, one incident that also comes to me. During Gandhiji's trip to some remote village, where they did not have rains for years together. So when Gandhiji reached there that night, suddenly the clouds gathered and heavy downpour. So next day morning, the simple folk, village folk, they all assembled and with drums and pipe, they were dancing and they were coming to Gandhiji's. Gandhiji came out. Why? No, because of your arrival, we got the rain. Arrival of the rain has nothing to do with my arrival. That is the Prakriti's nature. Some calculation is there. Huh? So then he said, I am nothing to do with it. Just like a child. Gandhiji was so pure, he will utter nothing but truth. So he said, what has it got to do with my arrival and the rain? At a particular moment, there are certain elements to be there which causes this rain. That has happened, that's all. Incidentally, I would have come here. Go back. Then he sent them back. So that means, that, as he said, that word with him, more and more we become clear. Law of karma. Everything happened because of the law of karma, which is also his, but he remains untouched. Because Papa used to say, if he is above the law, that means he cannot create that law. At times he also, Papa says in certain occasions, he also transcends the effects of the law. Anyway, that also we have to learn from our own experience. So here the God never punishes. Suppose we get cold, for example. Then we attribute to so many reasons. Why is he punishing me? I am only doing this and that. No. You have done something wrong. Your body should not have done something. You should not have exposed something wrong. You have not been able to align yourself with the changing climate, or some precaution which the body demanded which you ignore. So naturally you get cold, you will get. Suppose every time we analyze and do that, he remains untouched because he has brought it out, this law of karma, for the Jagat to exist. Let us see, keep on thinking about it. Rise higher from the individual level when handling problems so that the ego does not dominate. Rise higher from the individual level. Because it is from the individual that puts the label. Good, bad, favorable, not favorable, positive, negative. At that time, that is relevant, that is right. But when we go back to our own life, we find at that time we thought, how can you do that? How can you say like that? No. But later on, what happened to our life? Our relationship, our priorities, our preferences, one by one. What was our priority when we were 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years? What happened to the priority after 20th, 25th? Then the 30, 40, 50, then 60, 70, 80. Think about it. We have to, because he has given us all these lessons. Rise higher individual level while handling problems so that ego does not dominate.
Swamiji,
No.
then sense of individuality and self-respect, அது ரெண்டுத்துக்கும் self-respect is again the ego comes in between. Self-respect, sense of individuality.
Yesterday we read Puja Swamiji's last letter to all of us, The last line, you remember? Humility. So when we say humble, where is the question of self-respect?
Yes, Swamiji.
Everything is a gift of God given to me. Nothing that I can boast, nothing that I can claim, including the sense of individuality developing its opinion. And Papa names the three signs of the person who has identified himself totally with the core of the being. Spontaneity, simplicity, humility. No preconceived notions dominate our thoughts, words, and deeds. That is called spontaneity. Innocence. Simplicity. Another word of innocence. Unlimited, very limited needs. Because the more you get needs, the more you want to have. in the form of possessions, in the form of titles, in the form of power, in the form of sense of security. All these problem comes, Simplicity is something, highly contented. So nobody can shake you. You are in the lap of that power who has given. You are conscious that you are in the lap of that power who has given you everything. And when we are sitting in his lap, why should we bother? Just like a child sitting on the mother's or father's lap, it will never feel insecure. So, and humility. Humility also comes only because everything is great. And Pujya Swamiji was a living embodiment, no? That is why it carries weight. It was not dictated. He wrote it by his own hand, that letter. So that means when we keep, this cannot be taught, I will learn humility. No. It is an outcome of our journeys. This spontaneity, simplicity, and humility is not a thing to be learned academically and practiced. No, no, no. This is the outcome of a process of refinement. Okay, please think about this. These are all the things he is placing before us. Through Mahatmas, we just appreciate, praise them, But God is arranging to get these ideas, these values, to refine ourselves through various methods. Observation, experience, and also satsang. But let us not get stuck with any of these. They are all provided by God to purify. At that time when we read, probably we would not have understood. Later on we will understand. When we tally with our own experience. If the Mahatma says, if I keep reading by heart and reproduce, no. When this is linked with our experience, that alignment has taken place, then it stays. So now we understand God makes us to get in touch with so many objects, so many persons, so many situations, so that we get refined from the crudity, that's the word. From the crudity to excellence,
Refinement.
Refinement, yeah. Please think about it.
We get purified, Swamiji. We are purified.
Yeah. We have to watch ourselves. 10 years back, if somebody says something, we used to get offended. Are we getting offended now? If we get again offended, that means my rights and wrongs are still predominant in me. I am not in a position to transcend the me and mine. But suppose now, this spiritual journey has taught me that God has a purpose for somebody to behave to me. And he prompts me also to react, but I feel both are coming from him. Then no problem. Is it coming? So rise higher from the individual level when handling problems so that the ego does not dominate. See, one sentence out, what all thoughts it generates. God has made physical and spiritual laws that govern the entire manifestation. Physical and spiritual laws. That we should know. God has made physical and spiritual laws that govern the entire manifestation. Whatever spiritual laws, whenever spiritual laws are violated, consequences experienced are labeled as punishment. Whenever spiritual laws are violated, in this particular incident, another thing comes up from our own experiences. We say something, somebody gets offended. We come to know that he got offended. We go and repair the
But
damage.
it's not a punishment, but it's labeled as a punishment.
Eh?
You saying it is not a punishment, but it's labeled as punishment.
So whenever spiritual laws are violated, consequences are experienced as punishment. So the moment I forget about the commonness in others, I may not be able to realize his presence, but some commonness is there. When we were taking up these value-based sessions with children, what were the tools we were making? The only tool was to share anecdotes. There are no dictums, dogmas, rights, wrongs, no advice, no nothing. No teaching, no preaching. That means we place before the children one anecdote. Ask them to, what does it touch and kindle? So this methodology relieves us from, to a very great extent, from the me and mine. We are trying to become aware of every moment, aware of the way in which he has placed before us. That is why these anecdotes, that is values, values. So spiritual law, whenever spiritual laws are violated, consequences are experienced as punishment. In his case, when he crossed the limit and he abused, somehow next day he couldn't talk. He couldn't put two and two together. It was his interpretation. And God made him to realize. God made the drama to do that and made him to realize, because this his own, Papa did not say you are punished. This process of analyzing, evaluating, labeling came from him. And later on when Papa clarified, that also came from him. He can take any lessons from both. That is why this is made. God has made physical and spiritual laws. Whenever spiritual laws are violated, the consequences experienced are labeled as punishment. Whenever something commendable is done through us, let us pass on the credit to him, who is the activating principle within us.
And sometimes the repentance itself can be the punishment, isn't it?
Pardon?
I think sometimes the repentance itself can be the punishment.
Quite right. Yesterday's letter, first portion, he says, give the credit, So Puja Swamiji is his letter. Again I will read. Beloved children of beloved Purushottam Papa and Mataji, this is written just to express my deep gratitude to you all, and all friends, for all the love you have showered on me, and the cooperation you have extended to me during my long stay in Anandashram, engaged in the service of beloved Mataji. I sincerely feel that all of you gave me so much love and reverence that it made me wonder if I deserved so much. I then passed them on to him who really deserved it. It was he seated in my heart who gave me a little of his love, which enabled me to pass it on to you all. Pass it on to you means pass it on to him who is seated in your hearts. So it came from him alone and went back to him in innumerable forms. So he made it possible for me to swim in the ocean of love, pure, unadulterated love, and serve beloved Papa Mataji and his innumerable forms of devotees and those visiting the ashram. And now that beloved Papa has used this body as his instrument for the last 53 years, he has brought about external conditions in such a way as to make this body withdraw from activities. Beloved Papa has found other suitable instruments to take care of the different types of sevas in the ashram, making it easy for me to face the change and accept it cheerfully. This is his preamble. Now, the most important thing is, if we ponder over these words, again we repeat, ponder over these words, theme. I sincerely feel that all of you gave me so much love and reverence that and made me wonder if I deserved so much. I then passed them on to him who really deserved it. Suppose we stop with Puja Swamiji, we will not be able to understand this. He meant every word. When he wrote this in his own hand, he said, it was he seated in my heart who gave me a little of his love, which enabled me to pass it on to you. And pass it on to you means pass it on to him who is seated in your hearts. Where does the individual come? He gave the love, he made it pass it on to him. So the spiritual progress or journey should enable us to reach that state. Not taking any credit for anything. He has provided everything, through an individual, of course. But if we look at the individual, we don't see the power behind it. The power articulating, the power behind that individual. This is humility in application. Honestly, we feel that we have not, again we repeat, we have not done anything for our birth, we have not done anything for our body, we have not done anything for that which is necessary to exist for the body, we have not done anything that makes our life comfortable. So he is behind, he makes us to go through various types of varied experiences. Everything has come from him. Everything has to go back to him. So when I am loved and when I love, in both these places, I am conscious of his presence. When I am loved, I don't attribute to any individual. When I give love to others, I don't attribute to myself. There also it is he. These are all points which we can develop, We may not be able to raise ourselves to that level. Something of it, 1%, 2%, 5%. So this is what he means, So whenever something commendable is done through us, let us pass it on the credit to him who is the activating principle within us. No, God provides everything to us through Mother Nature and society and also offers opportunities to be charitable by sharing these gifts with co-creations. That is where this non-possessive nature, aparigraham. That is why in good old days when sannyasa is undertaken, unlike today, that individual just goes, that's all, with nothing to fall back upon, excepting reliance on God. Because these parigraha, possessions, in any form it takes, not only in the means of material, possessive of my nature, possessive of my so many. I am not merely with my outward possessions. I am with so many inward possessions, inner possessions. So where you are unknown, where you are not cared, when you place yourself, nobody will recognize you. Even if you do a charitable work, nobody will appreciate you. And what is your reaction? Then only you know that, no, that's all right. It has happened, that's all. No prefix, no suffix. So when God provides everything to us through Mother Nature and society, and also offers opportunities to be charitable by sharing these gifts with co-creation. So I will not keep anything for myself. It has come from Him, it has to go to Him.
Heartfelt expressions of higher nature.
Huh?
Expressions of
Heartfelt expressions.
heartfelt expressions of a higher nature.
Spiritual discussions, not merely for debating. Intellectual, no. That is why we are reminded every now and then. Tally it with your experience, tally it with your experience, tally it with your experience. Not for the sake of intellectual, satisfaction or thrill. That may be necessary at some other level, but not for my spiritual progress. Repeated tests help erase the ego totally. Repeated tests help erase the ego totally. Papa was subjected to go through successive failures. Failure after failure after failure after failure. Very difficult to accept. But when we were children, we were taught this through poem. We still remember that word. In Malayalam, you may not know. ഉരുക്കിടുന്നു മിഴിനീരിലിട്ട് മുക്കുന്നു മുറ്റും ഭുവനേക ശില്പി മനുഷ്യഹൃത്താം കനകത്തെ ഏതോ പണിത്തരത്തിന് ഉപയുക്തമാക്കാൻ. He says, God, when a goldsmith, takes the gold and melts it, and then hammers to make it a beautiful ring or a necklace or whatever, or a bangle or something. Though I am wearing it, I may not know what all it has passed through. That the poet says, ഉരുക്കിടുന്നു, melting. മിഴിനീരിലിട്ട് മുക്കുന്നു മുറ്റും. Successive failures. I don't find any light. But she does it. Why, ഉരുക്കിടുന്നു മിഴിനീരിലിട്ട് മുക്കുന്നു മുറ്റും ഭുവനേക ശില്പി. Bhuvaneka Shilpi is the Almighty Lord of the universe. What is he melting? Our heart. That means suffering. Manishya Hrutam Kanagate. Yedo Panitarathinu Vyuktamakan. To make it a wonderful product out of that. From the crude one.
Like trials of a teacup. Like trials of a teacup.
Repeated tests help erase the ego totally. These are all the tangible gains, What has been taught to us 50, 60 years back or 70 years back, now he makes us to remember through these words. This is the tangible gain. We get refreshed, we get renewed. Each one can go through one, each one has to go through one's own experience. Please, please. Then only it will stay with us. Otherwise, it will not stay with us. Only hearing will not help us.
Yes, Swami.
No. But when we link it with the life we lived for ourselves, direct, it gets stamped on your heart. Then it does not become a knowledge. It becomes a wisdom, you know. A wisdom on the basis on which we will start reacting to events and individuals. Because it is not that somebody said, no. It is not somebody said, what you experienced. A very important point all of us have to keep on reminding us as spiritual aspirants.
Now, the test tag in the Teria Tatane will be more vigorously praying for redemption than the danger in the test tag in the Teria Baba Kayuda Mata in the Tonara.
തെറ്റാക്കുന്നു തിരിഞ്ഞ
അതാണ് തെറ്റാക്കി തന്നെ പപ്പാതെ ടെസ്റ്റ് പണ്ടാറുണ്ട് കൈയുടെ മാറ്റാത്ത ഫീൽഡിങ് വരും അത് ചെയ്യാൻ ടെസ്റ്റ് അല്ലാതെ ജാസ്തി വികാസ പ്രേരണ മാത്രമേ.
What do you feel? Again, you are asking, you know. Think. I'll tell you. I am no. What prompted? Paringo, try when you you will get the answer. So whenever we come across a point, we try to get the words of Mahatmas and try to tally with our own experience. Then only it becomes all. That is why even after getting the reply, it doesn't get registered in our mind. So Papa and seek guidance always from within. If what Ramdas says is agreement with your inner voice, just follow it. Don't accept Ramdas' suggestion without a sanction from within. The more a man becomes reflective and meditative, the nearer he approaches the true springs of life. So we have to be reflective, no? This is how Vittal Rao became Swami Ramdas. Every day we say, Papa, Papa, Papa. We are trying to understand Papa, who really is. That is why this work is called In Search of Papa. So we search. This search is an inner churning and an inward journey to explore a little deeper into the hitherto unknown or less understood facets of Papa's life and teachings. It is like milk getting processed to bring out its core content to the ghee. First, milk turns into curd, which gets churned into butter, later gets converted into ghee. Milk spoils fast, whereas ghee lasts very long. It adds flavor and enhances quality to whatever it is added. So this churning, you know. Papa exhorts, have Ramdas in your thoughts as the impersonal, immutable, deathless cosmic spirit and give up attachment to external forms. Directly you do this, you will attain liberation and immortal joy and peace within yourself. Don't substitute a golden chain for an iron one. Detaching from other forms and attaching to the Guru's form. No. That's also an iron chain. Both are causes of bondage. Then another one. The following words of Papa throw more light on the above theme. Seek guidance always from within. If what Ramdas says is in agreement with your inner voice, follow it. Don't accept Ramdas' suggestion without a sanction from within. The more a man becomes reflective and meditative, the nearer he approaches the true springs of life. Then only it becomes mine, bluntly talking. Otherwise, I can quote for days together, weeks together, years together, Papa's words, Papa's words, Papa's words, Papa's words. But unless it is linked to my life, through what? Through the life he has given to me now. He made me to pass through so many varied experiences, and then we tried to connect up this. We did not know the technique of connecting it, but now slowly we are trying to connect it up. And the moment the fusion takes place, connecting the experience we had with the wisdom we have heard, then it gets stamped in our heart. And that will be the basis for our reactions, basis for our right relationship with the world outside. We will not be swayed by anything else. A wonderful chapter. God does not punish. No? What is that? Punishment is self-inflicted. Okay. So, I repeat it. God never punishes. All these points kindly ponder over. Connect with your life so far lived, he has given. And then, if suppose we are unable to connect, we pray to him. Please, you made all these things, but I am unable to connect. Please come and show me. And for all that, Nama. That to connect, the fusion took place, that is the job through which the Nama helps us. Nama, bhajan, everything. Let us eke out the maximum benefit for all he has provided. And then we will find the life will become more and more meaningful, purposeful, successful, and to some extent blissful also. Hari Om. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om, Hari Om.
Pranam.
Pranam. Pranam. Pranam.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.